Problem 15, 7x plus 4x equals 154. This is pretty simple and straightforward. All you're going to do is combine the coefficients of x. 7 plus 4 is 11. And that's going to equal 154. Now to solve for x, all you need to do is divide each side by 11. That will leave you with 154 divided by 11, which is 14. Problem 16, negative 3x minus 5x equals 72. Again, we're just going to combine the coefficients of x. Negative 3 minus 5 will be negative 8. X equals 72. All you're going to do is divide each side by negative 8. It's going to leave us with x equals 72 divided by negative 8, which is negative 9. Problem 17, 3 times x minus 7 plus 5 equals 32. The first thing I'm going to do is to multiply this out. I'll take 3 times each number in the parentheses. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 7, because you're subtracting, will be 21. Plus 5 equals 32. My next step, I'm just going to take negative 21 plus 5, which will be negative 16. Now I just continue solving the problem by adding 16 to each side. 32 plus 16 is 48. Now just divide each side by 3 to solve for x. So 48 divided by 3 is 16. Problem 18, negative 2/3 x plus 1/3 plus x equals 2/5. You can either combine the coefficients of x right away, or you can subtract 1/3 from each side. I'm going to go ahead and just subtract 1/3 from each side. That'll leave me with 2/3 x plus x. Now, since I'm subtracting fractions, I'm going to have a common denominator. So 5 times 3 is 15 will be my common denominator. So I'll take 3 over 3 times 2/5. 3 times 2 will be 6. 3 times 5 is 15. Now I'll take 5 over 5 times the 1/3. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. And since I was subtracting the 1/3, I'll need to subtract. Six minus 5 is 1. Now I'm going to add the coefficients of x. This is the equivalent of 1 over 1x. Now, since I'm doing a fraction, I have to have that common denominator, which in this case will be 3. So I'll have to take 3 over 3 times x. So negative 2 plus 3 will be 1. So I'll have 1/3 x equals 1 over 15. Take 3 over 1 times each side. So my 3's will cancel out, leaving me with x equals 1 times 3 is 3. 15 times 1 is 15. You want to make sure your answer is reduced all the way down. 3 will go into 15 5 times. I can take 3 divided by 3, which will be 1. 15 divided by 3 will be 5. My answer will be 1/5. Problem 19, negative 5.1y plus 7.2y equals negative 8.4. I'm just going to combine the coefficients of y. So negative 5.1 plus 7.2 will give me 2.1. Y equals negative 8.4. Solve for y by dividing each side by 2.1. So I'll have y equals negative 8.4 divided by 2.1, which is a negative 4. Problem 20, 11 plus 6 minus x over 2 equals 26. Don't let the fraction scare you. This problem is really not that bad. I'm going to subtract 11 from each side so that I'm left with 6 minus x over 2. 26 minus 11 is 15. Rewrite the 6 minus x over 2 as 6 over 2 minus x over 2 equals 15. Subtract 6 over 2 from each side. Leaves you with negative x over 2 equals 15 over 1 minus 6 over 2. Since you're subtracting a fraction, you're going to want the common denominator. In this case, it'll be 2. So you'll take 2 over 2 times 15 over 1. So 2 times 15 is 30. 2 times 1 is 2 minus 6 over 2. And that's going to equal negative x over 2. 30 minus 6 is 24 over 2. Now from here you can cross multiply to solve, or what I'm going to do is just multiply each side by 2. So my 2's will cancel out, leaving me with negative x equals 24. Now I want my x to be positive, so I'll just multiply negative 1 times each side. Negative times a negative is a positive. 24 times negative 1 will be negative 24. Problem 21, negative x minus 1/2 x equals 9. I'm going to want to combine the coefficients of x. I'll want a common denominator since I'm subtracting fractions. So I'll take 2 over 2 times x to give me that common denominator. So I'll have 2 over 2x minus 1/2 x equals 9. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3 over 2x equals 9. I'll just want to rewrite the problem as negative 3x over 2, and that's going to make it easier for me to cross multiply. So cross multiplying, I'll have negative 3x times 1, which will be negative 3x. 2 times 9 is 18. Negative 3x equals 18. Solving for x, divide each side by negative 3. X equals 18 divided by negative 3 is negative 6. Problem 24. Two brothers, Bill and Eric, are 4 years apart, and Bill is the older of the two. If the sum of the boys' ages is 28, how old is Bill and how old is Eric? The problem tells us the sum of the boys' ages is going to be 28. So Bill plus Eric is going to be 28. We're also told Bill's older by 4 years. So the age of Bill is going to be Eric plus 4. Let's go ahead and say Eric is X. So we can say Bill plus X equals 28. Here Bill is going to be Eric, which we're calling X, plus 4. In place of the b, we can say x plus 4 plus x equals 28. This is the equation we're going to want to solve to get the age of Eric. So x plus 4 plus x. Add together the coefficients of x. 1 plus 1 will be 2. X plus 4 equals 28. Subtract 4 from each side. That will leave 2x equals 28 minus 4 is 24. Solve for x by dividing each side by 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Up here we're saying that Eric is x. So Eric is 12 years old. Now going back up here, Bill is going to be Eric plus 4 years. We solved and found out that Eric is going to be 12. So Bill is going to be Eric plus 4, which is going to be 16. So we've got Eric is 12 and Bill is 16.